What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are talking about the new teasers for the Season 4 Battle Pass. We're going to go over the potential operators, the DLC weapons, what we know about it so far, and all of that good stuff. So if you do find the video informative or helpful at any point, consider hitting that like and subscribe button to help us on the road to 500k. And a like and comment is also appreciated to help push the video out towards the YouTube algorithm. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that we know is the season is going to go live on March 29th. We are almost exactly 2 weeks away from the official release. Now, the best part is the Battle Pass is revealed way earlier than when it actually ends up dropping with the update. So the blog post is expected on the 22nd. Usually we get the marketing key artwork. We'll know who the main character of the Battle Pass is maybe a day or two before when Call of Duty begins to upload cinematics or upload images or just little hints and teasers before they give us the roadmap. So we're definitely going to start seeing Battle Pass information starting next week. Call of Duty does an official Battle Pass blog, usually the Monday before the update is live. Now, there's one problem because that Monday falls on a holiday, which is Memorial Day, and Call of Duty marketing usually doesn't promote or do any sort of marketing during the holiday break. So it looks like it's probably going to be the day after that, which is going to be around the 27th. So that's when you can expect the full showcasing of every single tier and reward in the Battle Pass. Now let's talk about the theme of the Season 4 Battle Pass. So Verdansk has given us a couple of teasers on what to expect. Quick word from our sponsor, Mitch Cactus. It's a store that can get you the most exclusive operators, help you unlock the Black Ops 6 Mastery camos such as Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula. And if you want to hit Master Prestige even faster, they can also help you out with that. They don't use unlock tools or mods, so you know it's 100% legitimate, and they have over 10,000 verified reviews on Trustpilot. You can use code TRIDZO for a 5% discount. The link will be down in the description. And it looks like it's going to be a continuation of the Black Ops 6 storyline. This is pretty obvious. We've seen Season 1 continue the storyline with Savati Dumas, who is a character introduced in BO6. And her and Marshall were following a lead on Pantheon that led them towards Avalon. They needed help from the Syndicate crime family. And then we went on into Season 2's Battle Pass. And that followed up with them trying to get revenge on Savati by putting a hit on her and then sending out Nocturne, who was the brand new operator introduced in that update. Now then in Season 3, they sort of took a step back from that, but the story continued following the campaign. Now we get a flashback of Hudson, who was doing some research of apparently what Pantheon could have been directly tied to in terms of Perseus and all of the bad things going around in the world, and they may have had a hand in all of that. So he was sort of tying in Perseus and Pantheon together, and now from what it seems like, we're going to dive even deeper into that with the Season 4 update, and that's what the theme seems to be. And we do have some teasers and leaks to prove that. So starting off with, hey, I'm Alex. If you guys recall, we've talked about this a couple of times. There are 4 operators that have been leaked for the Season 4 update, or at least were added with Season 3 Reloaded. And that is Doberman, Corgi, and Poodle. 3 code names. These are collaborations. Usually they don't add collabs into the Battle Pass, but there's a small chance that maybe 1 or 2 could potentially make it in. Maybe one of these could also end up being the Blackcell operator. And then the 4th operator was Stitch. Now, because these are leaks, it didn't really confirm if it was still going to happen during Season 4. Could Stitch be maybe safe for Season 5 or Season 6? No release date was given. And as you guys know, sometimes leaks are false or misinterpreted or anything like that could happen. Maybe Stitch could be featured in Blackcell as the Blackcell operator. That's what we saw with Rose. But Call of Duty started giving us official teasers over on the Verdansk map. Now, there's one thing before we talk about the teasers that obviously I know a lot of you guys are thinking about is how could Stitch possibly be back in the storyline if he's dead? At the end of the Cold War post-cinematic cutscene, this is, by the way, in Season 6, so the very end of Cold War's life cycle. He ends up meeting Adler just outside of some woods in Verdansk, and it seems like I believe he was visiting a grave, and Adler ended up catching him there. And as a result from this, in the very end, the screen goes black, and then you hear a bullet. So we assumed, okay, Adler finally, killed him, and that's it. That was the end of it, and we never really heard about it much since then. Now, it seems like maybe that's not what happened. As you guys know, with Call of Duty, if you don't see the person die on screen, chances are they could come back to life somehow or some way. Now, as I mentioned, Call of Duty dropped some teasers for Verdansk, and they're indicating that he might be alive because when you go over to the hospital in Verdansk in the 3rd floor in this very room, You will find 3 things on this bed. The first one is a phone, the second one is a note, and the third one is surgical equipment, all very important. Now, first, reading the note, it says, "To the owner of this phone, how old is this thing? I couldn't track you down since there are no saved numbers or data. Also, I didn't want to touch it because it seems to be covered in blood. I hope whoever was injured got stitched up." That's a very interesting choice of words. Then it says, "So I'm just leaving it in case you come back and find it, and I hope you do. I know how it feels to forget my phone at home. It's torture." Now, another very interesting set of words, it's torture, but we'll come back to that in a second. Now, the first thing you'll notice is he talks about the phone and how there's blood in it. Now, this phone is actually the one that belongs to Stitch. We saw this multiple different times in the Cold War cinematics. He used this very phone in the same exact room during the Cold War Season 3 cinematic, and then there's also those same exact clamps or surgical equipment being shown in that cinematic as well. So it's sort of all but confirming that this phone actually belongs to Stitch. Now, he also mentioned that it's covered in blood, and I'm guessing that is a result from maybe Adler shooting him. Somehow he got to this hospital and then got saved, stitched up, quote unquote, as I mentioned before, teasing him, and then also teasing the fact that he may not have died and ended up getting saved. Now, this seems like a potential way that they're going to be introducing Stitch within the Battle Pass for Season 4. Now, alongside that, I also believe that there's going to be an Adler operator. If you guys have noticed, Adler is still yet to get a realistic Milsim operator skin, one we've seen from the campaign. He's been getting crazy, wacky ultra skins. And then you'll also notice he's one of the only operators that is yet to get a Battle Pass skin. Even Helen Park ended up getting one in Season 3. So it looks like they were particularly saving him for something else. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the It's Torture part could be a direct mention for Adler himself. If you guys recall, the entire backstory of Stitch is basically he was working in Rebirth Island. He was captured by Adler and he was tortured to give up intel and his men, and as a result of not doing so, Adler ended up actually removing one of his eyes, and that's how he ended up getting the scar that he has. He was also sent to the Gulag. He was saved by Perseus, and then he comes back, returns, mainly wanting revenge on Adler, but also trying to complete his goals. So Adler plays a very, very key role in terms of Stitch's backstory, as well as the rivalry that they have going on. Now, that means they cannot bring Stitch into the Battle Pass without bringing in Adler. So maybe Call of Duty has been saving an Adler operator skin this entire time for the Season 4 update, which is what I personally believe. Now, at the same time, past Season 4 wouldn't make any sense to bring in an Adler operator skin that was meant to release in the early stages of Black Ops 6. We also have an operator that was actually in the beta for Adler in the past, and then they removed it. He was in a finishing move preview, and I've shown this a couple of times in the past, and it seemed like he was meant to be releasing at some point as a playable operator. We see him here in multiplayer doing this finishing move, but they ended up removing him, and it seemed like they removed him for a reason. And we've been getting non-stop teasers of him as an operator. First off, in the cinematic that we ended up getting in Season 3, where he was pretty much all geared up, and then we had him play the tape with Hudson. It made sense to not bring him in at the time because this was basically the flashback for Hudson. And then also in the Black Ops tribute event, you'll notice him on the left side of the artwork in the tactical gear, but at the same time, we don't have this operator variant in Black Ops 6 at the moment. So these are the two main characters I believe are going to be available as the face of the Season 4 Battle Pass, very similar to how Hudson and Mace were. And then alongside that, they're going to be accompanied with some sort of a Blackcell operator skin. But definitely these are the operators we're going to see in like the Tier 1 of the Battle Pass, like the Instance sector. Maybe we see a Tier 100 animated variant of these operator skins, maybe for Stitch. Now, alongside the Battle Pass, you can also expect there's going to be a bunch of other things coming in. For example, weapon blueprints. There's also going to be DLC weapons. The DLC weapons that we have so far isn't the finalized or full version. These are just leaks. So we know that the Olympia's coming in. There is always an AR that's introduced in the Battle Pass. So we don't know which AR it is. It seems like it's going to be an Italian one based on the code names that we have at the moment, but it could potentially be really anything. And then there's also other items coming in, such as like gobble gums, calling cards, cards, stickers, double XP tokens, the random miscellaneous stuff that fill out an entire battle pass. Now, this is the information that we have so far. The official blog post and intel is going to start releasing and as early as next Monday. But based on the information that we have so far, what are your thoughts on this type of battle pass? Would you like to see Stitch and Adler be the main headlining characters in Season 4? Do you think that's how Call of Duty is going to do it? But as usual, because nothing is officially confirmed by Activision or Call of Duty, take this information with a grain of salt. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. It may have been the original plan. Maybe it gets delayed. Maybe it gets scrapped. Maybe they were teasing something completely different and we just misinterpreted. So just take all this information with a grain of salt. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated. So be sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on the latest Call of Duty news and updates. But that's all that I got for you guys in this video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys back on the channel again. Peace.